Hey, Dev, you
Hello,
muted.
guys, and welcome to the stream. Yeah, my apologies there. Welcome to the Rainbow Six Pro League for ANZs. I am Dev Marta, and joining me is the one and only Monkey Fist.
Hello.
Yep, and we're prepped here for Playday number 2. We've got all the teams lined up and getting really eager to start this. It's quite a unique thing. We've got new season, new formats, new rules, and a new league system. So let's have a look at the schedule for what's coming up very shortly. As you can see on your screens, we have the schedule for tonight's matches. FNATIC will be taking on Control, and then Control will be taking on FNATIC. It's the formats that we are going through for APAC is the double round robin single best of one format. However, we will be having each team playing their other team, and then that other team playing their team. It's a bit confusing, but essentially it just means that we're going to have these two best of ones essentially being played out in what appears to be a best of two, which means we're going to see FNATIC take on Control 2 times on 2 maps, and then Taboo take on Dead Set for the same thing.
Yeah, so definitely going to be good. So after that, of course, as you said, after the first 2 matches, we're going to see the next 2 maps. Now, I think we're going to look at the FNATIC lineup right now. So for FNATIC, we've got Lusty, Rizraz, Magnet, Aces, and Neofighter. Definitely household names, wouldn't you say, Dev?
Absolutely. These guys have made the rounds at this point, despite their histories. I mean, Magnet and Aces, of course, coming from the original Mindfreak roster on the Xbox. Lusty being the next addition to the roster when the team transferred onto PC. He joined them for the first season of Pro League. Then Rizraz came over from the former Corvidae roster. And then finally, Neofighter, just at the start of the previous season, drifted over from Atletico, finalizing this FNATIC roster who, they're quite well known at this point.
Yeah, and on the flip side, let's take a look at Control. If you want to list those off for us, Mr. Dev Marta.
Of course, we have Raven, who's the captain. We have Porridge, Scalican, Rock, and Cynics. Now, a bit of a newer roster, kind of been through a lot of iterations, a lot of names as well. You might know Team Panda, Bittersweets, this team's just been through so many iterations and so many names, and yet the roster has made some changes in that time as well, leaving us with a surprising roster that has just made its way up from the Challenger League.
Yeah, definitely seen some good stuff from them, but, tonight I am not too hopeful for them against FNATIC here.
It's a team, Control being a team that I would say have a lot of potential and have always had that potential. Raven being a very strong leadership position in that captain spot, and I would say very good at it as well. And then kind of drifting in more players from across different teams to kind of round out their roster into something that's a little bit more powerful. For example, bringing on Rock, who previously played in the Pro League for Zero Gaming. A team that finished 4th place despite what appeared to be a lot of internal issues and then eventually disbanding. But all of the players kind of drifted off into a lot of different places and a lot of different teams after that league. Yeah. And I suppose Control gaining Rock, I mean, he's a player who's been around for a long time. I think that it's kind of the fragging power that they might need to propel themselves to the next level and really break into the Pro League in their stride.
Yeah, let's hope so at least. But that being said, it is up against FNATIC, right? Like FNATIC. Yes. The FNATIC.
Yeah, the number 1 seed out of ANZ and, typically APAC as well. But nonetheless, we're going to get straight into the match. Here we have for you the first map of Oregon. We went through the ban phase. Didn't actually manage to chat about it, but FNATIC banned out Bank and Consulate. Border and Coastline were banned by Control. The default bans being Villa and Clubhouse, leaving us just here with Oregon. No real surprises now, Monkey. This is a very common map.
Yeah, and now we're going to be seeing the bans on operators. So FNATIC deciding to get rid of Glaz straight off the bat. Interesting, do you reckon?
It's actually Glaz has been the most banned operator in this Pro League so far. We've had, 5 Playdays, I believe, across different regions. And Glaz has been the number 1 most banned operator. So not really a surprise in my eyes at all. Particularly Control have also been known to play a lot of Glaz, Raven being a bit of a notorious Glaz player. So no real surprise. FNATIC have played Glaz in the past, but they're very much comfortable without it. Nonetheless, moving on to the other bans, we have Yingdon. FNATIC have been renowned to be absolutely dominant with that operator, especially on the way that they use it to push from the meeting hall hatches onto the basement in Oregon. So no real surprises there. Mirror getting banned. Look, so many teams love doing it. I'm not too surprised.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, like, we didn't see it in one match on Oregon last night. Are we going to see it tonight? And, you know, we did. FNATIC deciding to ban that out. It's becoming kind of like the meta play, isn't it, to ban the mirror?
I don't know. Some people like it, some people don't. I've seen mirror banned so much in scrims and in the Pro League now, especially on maps where, like, I mean, mirror completely reworked how the Oregon basement is defended when she came out. And now people are thinking, oh, if we're the first ones to really adapt to an Oregon without mirror, then we're going to be a leg up. But the problem is everyone's had that thought. It's not original. And so it's not really necessarily going to work here. Nonetheless, Control seems to think it might work in their favor, and FNATIC just banned out Pulse. I'm assuming that the Pulse ban probably just to make them feel a little bit more comfortable attacking the top floor, not having to worry quite as much about C4s from below. But, you know, Pulse not such a prevalent operator on Oregon, so that is a little bit of an interesting one to me as well.
Yeah, so let's take a look at these operator picks now. We have seen six picks come through. So Dokkaebi has been one of the 6 picks, and then we're going to see Elysian as well. Interesting? Or...
Yeah, both fantastic operators, and both teams have also made good use of them. Dokkaebi, it's nice to, you know, pick that without the other team necessarily knowing that you have it. It's nice as an attacker to be able to surprise your opponents. The roamers might be playing a little bit more passively if they know that there's the potential that they could get a phone call. So, you know, a wise move making that their 6th pick. Could have made the line the 6th pick, but, you know, it doesn't really matter. But this Lesion, really, I mean, I wouldn't... If I was playing against FNATIC and they didn't pick a Lesion, I've got to be guessing that's going to be their 6th pick, because it's been one of the most effective operators that FNATIC have been able to make use of.
Yeah, well, see, I was reading a discussion about this 6th pick and saying it's heavily favoured towards the attackers because they can use their drones to suss out exactly what operators are up. So, you know, they're able to find out what the 6th pick might be before the defenders. So it is rather favoured towards them, wouldn't you say?
Potentially, but there's also a lot more wild card operators on the defense that you really need to know about. For example, you know, a Vigil, a Caveira, these kind of operators that you can really just spring on people. Even a Mirror. If you are expecting that you're going to be attacking and not having to deal with one of those, and then suddenly it's springed on you, then, well, that can make things a bit more complicated. Nonetheless, moving into the attack, Control have taken control of the dining area and the showers, looking potentially to mount their their ground floor west side push. And Porridge with the LMGE, no less, not a very common sight on the Zephyr.
Yeah, very interesting. But the strategy they're employing is pretty standard, and FNATIC... I don't know, it looks like they're doing Dizzle's favourite thing to say, like, you know, fight where they're not fighting. So they're standing back, letting them take control, and I'm sure they're going to be able to capitalise on that, as Rizraz is going to find the first frag, just peeking out the big double window. That should not be happening.
Yeah, a really strange positioning from Riz as well. This deployable shield's giving him a little bit more cover, but the small cabinet, that wooden cabinet that he's hiding behind is completely penetrable. So while that deployable shield will save him from bullets, that cabinet will not. So a little bit of a questionable position, but he's made use of it once and decided to get on out of there. Control, while they are attempting to mount their push from the big window, they don't have a lot of teeth. And they don't have a lot of crossfires onto the defenders in order to isolate them. They haven't even opened up the floor below Lusty's position here at the top of the white stairs.
Yeah, they really needed a buck, but they've only had the Zofia, and she's used both of her lifeline impact grenades, I believe. They're going to discover Lusty, and I think he's got a drone behind him as well.
Yeah, and as we can see the Thatcher being used to counter this Lesion, it's something that will work with mixed effects. Porridge now deciding to use the LMG to... Now, the Lion Charge will be disabling movement of the defenders as the push begins to mount.
Yeah, well, there we go. Lusty's fully flashed up. He's going to be pushed here by Cynics, but Lusty's going to find the frag as Neophyter chimes in with one of his own, and Porridge is going to get the immediate trade. Raven is going to find Rizraz, however, making this into a more doable position for Control, as it's down to just the 2-on-3. Well, never mind, as Aces will pick up Porridge, and now it's all up to Raven. He's on site. He has found one, as Neophyter's going to have to run through his teammate's smoke. Raven does have Diffuser, and he's in to the kids. He's going to go for the plant here. He hasn't reloaded his primary, however, which could be a bit worrying.
2 versus 1 now for FNC to retake. The Mind Freak refrag needs to come out. The FNC refrag, the first one doesn't make it, but Magnet lives up to the name, finds that refrag, and checking for claymores is going to be beginning that counter defuse animation. And that was a first round that really, I think, FNATIC let get a little bit too close. I'm surprised that they did manage to lose control of that kid's bedroom. But overall, Anna, what was the real reason that that round became so close in the first place after it looked like FNC had such a lead?
I don't know. It looked like they were, well, Control really got those frags out. That's for sure.
Yeah, Control getting the frags? Well, that always does help, doesn't it?
Yeah, like, it seems like it was a messy push in, and, like, you know, as we spoke about, the refrags really just came on through.
Yeah, nonetheless, now, after a successful defense of the dorms, FNATIC are going to be defending the supply room and laundry, going down to the basement, the site which most teams do prefer, and Magnet once again using that 6th pick to pick the Legion. I believe it was Lusty on it last time, but no, this time Magnet will be taking that mantle, allowing Lusty to play the Jaeger. Something I really like here is these players are all very, very flexible on these operators. I've seen Magnet play Jaeger, I've seen Lusty play Jaeger, we've seen... It's kind of all over the place. Rizraz is an infamous Jaeger as well. And Jaeger really is an operator that you often need. His utility is just so useful, and you know, you could use him as an anchor, you could use him as a roamer, but it's his utility that becomes so very useful. So being able to, for example, have one of your anchor players pick a Jaeger, allowing your roamers to pick another operator, for example, the Ella, having that flexibility really gives you options with your team comp.
Yeah, and look, we're seeing a very similar team comp as well now from the attackers. We are seeing Rock on the Dokkaebi once again.
Yes, and I mean, how do you expect that Dokkaebi is going to be used when pushing onto the side? I expect it's probably going to be for that execute.
Yeah, so they're going to be, when you're pushing the site, ring the phones, like it only just pins their position down even more. Like, surely you've droned it out already, but now they're going to be completely pinned down. It looks like it's going to be a nice fast one here from the backside. Here we go. It's going to be the first one in. Is Porridge pre-firing into the corner, hasn't hit anything as Rock is on site, and he is going to find aces, but Lusty's there for the trade. Looks like Porridge is going to finally trade out onto Lusty as well, and they are completely on site. Ravens found one, Scallican another. It's a 4v1.
Now, Neophyter here to take 4 players. All but one has nearly full HP. He's going to drop in the pillbox hatch and starting to mount his retake of B. He could potentially manage to take these 1v1s, but he has to contend with the EE1D and just stand still for a few seconds more before attempting this retake. I think that's Porridge just around the corner. He's going to be pushing backstairs first. Scallican holding a very tight angle, but Neophyter finds that kill nonetheless. Now pushing on. He's got 3 more to find. Can he find this next one? No, Raven is going to be the one to get that. And that finishes off that round for Neo.
There we go. That's a 1-1 scoreline. And, you know, I must be honest. I said before, are we going to see a 6-0? Seeing as, you know... But that's not to be the case. It's really... we've seen Control pick up a round here. And I must say, I'm a little bit surprised.
Why is that? Just off the cuff, you thinking that FNATIC is such a exponentially better team than Control?
Oh, FNATIC are the #1 undisputed team in the region. And, you know, Control made it to Pro League through a bit of luck, to be honest. Like, they were meant to play off for their position, which, you know, they could have won anyway. But thanks to a disband, they just got put straight through automatically. So, you know, that was a bit... Yeah,
that is true. So that is something to talk about. Control actually came second in the Challenger League, losing out first position to Verdict. And then what happened because of Zero Gaming disbanding, as previously mentioned, unfortunately, the way that had to work in order to, there's no way to make everything 100% fair, but the way it did work is that Control got a default position into the Pro League. Verdict had to fight Outlaws for their Pro League spot, and then Verdict beat Outlaws and got into the Pro League and then disbanded, and then Outlaws got their spot back anyway, which is just a whole nother can of worms which we're not going to open. But it's important to note, Control were second in the Challenger League, and they're coming up against FNATIC, who were first in the Pro League last season. You'd think that there'd be a huge disparity there. I mean, that's what 9 placements apart in terms of the differences between these teams' standings, and yet it's going 1-for-1 so far. I think that people really have to give credit to teams when they stick together and work on their issues, work through their roster, and improve the aspects of their team play overall. And that's what Control has been doing. It's what FNATIC have been doing as well, but no behemoth is undefeatable. As we saw in the 7th season finals when Team Liquid toppled their Monsters of Penta.
Yeah, I'd say it's more to do with the fact that was just a completely surprise strat there by FNATIC. We saw, by Control. We saw FNATIC get completely caught out. They weren't expecting it. They weren't ready for it. And, the trades went in the favor of Control, and it was a 4v1. Like, what do you do from that point?
Yeah. Fair point. Moving on now, we have West Site Control being taken for Porridge, starting to use his vertical play. Actually shoots one of the alibis, which is going to cause him to get spotted out, forcing him to play a little bit more passively, as Scalacon's taking control of the lobby, sitting in a classroom, quite an exposed position, and the FNATIC players, 3 of them, have made their way into the meeting hall while Rizraz attempts to flank upstairs.
Yeah, they do have a very heavy meeting hall presence, which was kind of their undoing last round. And they're trying to repeat the same thing.
Well, it's funny. I mean, we talk about all these different rush strategies, particularly on Oregon. Now, that exact same kind of rush strategy was utilized by, I believe it was Element Mystic. It was either by Element Mystic or against Element Mystic, formerly known as Mantis.
I want to say.
I think it was Element Mystic versus Norengo, yes. And Norengo had a very, very strong meeting room presence. And then, Element Mystic just went for a complete rush, and they had the site in, a 5-on-4 or something within 20 seconds or 30 seconds. So these kinds of rush strats really do work. Now, in stark contrast, Control this time are playing very much slowly, and Cynic's taking out the batteries, trying to give him a little bit more leeway, unfortunately taking some damage from those batteries, just be a little bit of annoyance. He's holding the flank rotation through the pantry because no doubt that's where a lot of the FNATIC players will wish to rotate from the meeting hall in order to execute their flank. But Rizraz here inside of the attic, if he holds an impact grenade, he could easily make himself a quick off-the-cuff rotate through into the top of dorms.
Yeah, it looks like Control have decided not to go for the rush, of course, as we've now got 40 seconds on the clock. Go for a more measured approach, which is, not really too surprising.
Now, that Hibana charge, I really feel like that actually is going to work against it, because it gives Aces a really nice safe angle to hold. And now the gas is going to make Raven take even more damage, but he's made his way all the way to the laundry basket, and no doubt will get taken down. Magnet's the one to finish him off. Rizraz executing his flank, but Porridge, wow, so far back, so late into the round, holding that rotate, yet still, Rock's going to be going for the flank. Scalacan finds another one. It's a 4 versus 3. Make that a 3 versus 3. Make that a 3 versus 2. Aces finds one, denies the plant. Scalacan has to retake this 1 second to go. The line charge going off. It's all up to Cynics to cover. Lusty has to take this 1 versus 2. We know Lusty is the clutch master. He finds Cynics. The plant is gone down from Scalacan. It's a 1 versus 1. Lusty finds that one. Lusty always wins the clutches. No Claymore to speak of. And Lusty will successfully gain the counter defuse to put up his team 2-1.
Great clutch there by Lusty, but that was also a great showing there by Control.
Oh, yes. Especially for a last minute hold, into the 17 seconds, the last 17 seconds of the round, they still had 2 players holding flanks. And, well, typically you might say, oh no, they need more presence on site. But those players on the flanks, it was a fantastic read of what the FNATIC players were going for, which was those retakes from upstairs and through the meeting hall. So it really worked very effectively.
Yeah, it's Control using that FNATIC philosophy of, playing where they're not, and then expecting them to go for where they're not, and, being there where they don't expect them to be. Very sneaky indeed, and I like it.
Now moving on to the next defense for FNATIC. Obviously, we didn't really touch, but we got new form. So it's 5-a-side. It's not what you're used to in playing casual and playing ranked and playing in previous seasons of the Pro League or other competitions. We have a very new format. You have to play 5 rounds consecutively on the same side, whether it be defense or attack, before moving on and switching sides. Now, also to note that in this regular season of the Pro League, we have no overtime. The score is 1st to 6, and there is a maximum of 10 rounds. So if it gets to 5-5, no overtime, that's a draw. It's entirely possible that that's what we're going to see, if not in this match, in one of the matches today. And it certainly will happen in the Pro League. We've actually seen 2 draws already in the Latin America between Black Dragons and Ninjas in Pajamas, also between FaZe and Immortals. So it's something that's definitely going to happen. The real question is just when. Now, something else that comes out of this is the objective rotation. That is the rules that decide when you're actually allowed to go back and choose another objective to defend that you've already successfully defended, have been changed slightly. You now have to play 2 defensive rounds off of the site that you have just won in order to go back to it. Now, FNATIC in the first round won this site, and since then we had them losing the basement and then winning the basement. That's 2 rounds, and as such, they're going to come back.
Yeah, I was going to mention that as well. Like, what's the third site FNATIC are going to pick? Like, traditionally, when this team was Mindfreak, they did even pick Kitchen and Dining Room, even before the 3 objective rotation came in. So I'm kind of expecting that. Yeah,
back when it was a little bit of a pocket strat, they were the team that were known for doing it within ANZ. So it's entirely possible that that's probably likely to be their third site. It's most teams' tertiary sites, just because it's been the most explored. Tower has been picked now and again. I mean, in this league, I think I've seen it at least once, but it's by no means a common site. It'd be the unusual site to see, if I had to say one. Now, Magnus playing an interesting anchor position here, using these mute jammers and a large number of reinforcements. He's playing inside of, oh wait, Skeleton and Rizraz are about to cross paths as Rizraz come through a flank through the meeting hole.
Yeah, he's very close here, looking towards the front door. Rizraz is, the Skeleton's chilling in the garage. Oh, Riz is going to pick the front door towards White Van. That was a very nice pre-fire, but no head was there, and he's going to piece on out back to the big tower.
Yeah, well, it's a good position to be in. I'm not quite sure whether he has a rotate through the attic to utilize in late round, but nonetheless, Control are starting to surmount their push. Porridge now using this Buck Skeleton key to open up the floor inside of Classroom while staying safely outside. A nice touch, however, he's going to have to push inside to get many more angles. That Thatcher EMP is going to... Oh, no. Skeleton, that's the wrong button, my friend.
Whoops. We've all been there. That all happens. You know, no harm, no foul. It's no frag grenade.
And Cynic's here holding this angle. Oh, no! Wow, sorry to interrupt you there, Monkey, but Cynic's holding the angle does manage to take down Rizraz, who was so close to getting a flank, but gets punished. There's something I've seen Control doing so well, just holding those flanks, which FNATIC are falling into the traps.
Yeah, they're playing a very passive attack, which, you know, the FNATIC and traditionally as Mindfreak, they love to be reactionary on defense. So once the attackers make a move, the defenders move back, and that's falling right into their hands. But Magnet, he's going to find Rock on the trade back on that mute.
It's a great read so far from the attack. Yes, Dokubi's down. That utility not going to be used. 45 seconds. There's a lot of time still left for this attack, and they have the numbers advantage as Control start to attempt to push in through here. However, there is still one defender inside of the meeting. Skeleton lands one bullet into, I believe, Magnet. Magnet finds one, but gets instantly refragged by the Claymore. Neophyte still inside of the attic. The plant's actually going down.
Yeah, the plant's going down, and the smoke is down. Oh, it looks like the plant's been stopped there as Ace has peeked forward. No. And, we're going to see Neophyte just miss the last few shots onto the planter as Raven with his pistol out is going to find one. So it's all up to Neophyte. He's found Skeleton on the thermite, and he's going to drop down into the meeting hall. The plant is surely going to be confirmed now, as Neophyte is going to try and go for the long flank where they're not expecting him. And there's the plant down.
Cynics still has full HP, but I do not believe any EE1D charges left. Hey, right when I said that, here's the last EE1D. Once again, being utilized for the post plant. That's a lot of utility to force Neophyte to waste more time. A nice crossfire being set up by both Cynics and Raven. And Neophyte is going to try and take these as 1v1s. About to come around the corner, finds Raven. It's a 1 versus 1 Neophyte versus Cynics. Cynics is playing very passively. He takes some shots. Can Neophyte? Surely not. No, Cynics is going to clean that up. And, well, that was a bit of potato, but he got there eventually. And that's thank you to that 51 bullet magazine.
Yeah, that was very close there. Neophyte almost with the 1-on-3 clutch. Unfortunately not to be, however, but Control are definitely showing up a lot stronger than what I was expecting.
Yeah, I mean, got to give them credit where it's due. This is a 2-2 right here. And well, I mean, you could always argue maybe that this particular ban phase is making this attacker-sided instead of defender-sided, and that's why FNATIC on their defense are not winning as many rounds. But I don't know. We'll have to wait and see into the second half. It's unlike other games where it's, you have halves where you start on one side and progress onto the other side in the second half. Siege isn't as predictable as to which side is going to be more favored, because every single map you have different set of bans. Like if Mirror wasn't banned, maybe this would be lots and lots of defense wins. I've seen scrims on this map go to, defense wins only all the way to 6-5. So it's entirely possible that this is just the ban phase is making it attacker-sided, and that's giving Control an edge. Maybe that's not the case at all. Or maybe Control have really just stepped it up.
Yeah, indeed. So we're going to see Lusty 6 pick onto the onto the Ella from Jaeger. Pretty interesting decision. I don't know. They didn't really utilize the Jaeger devices, did they, last round?
Well, Raven has that EMP, and I mean there are plenty of stun grenades on Scalakin, Rock, and Cynics. Unless if Cynics does have a Claymore, but it's probably more than likely that that's 3 sets of stun grenades, and stun grenades are really excellent for wasting down ADSs. That's, 9 stun grenades between the 3 players, and there's only 6 projectiles that the Jaeger devices can prevent all up.
Yes, indeed. So we've seen it go 2 and 2, right? Each team has won an attack and defense on each bomb site. So this round is anyone's game. Do you want to make a quick guess, Dev? Just to make it exciting. Because it's not exciting enough already.
Honestly, I think that's something that FNATIC do have going for them. And you could say I'm being biased, but I'm just saying from experience, FNATIC have been a very, very strong team. And they have been losing because they've been going for flanks, and Control have been waiting for them. And I think FNATIC are going to read into that. They're going to realize, oh, okay, we're dying because they're playing really passive and they're holding flanks. We just need to stop going for late flanks. We need to change and adapt the way that we play so that it counters that kind of play style. And, well, here's one thing that's going to really put a stilt in the attack is that's going to be a very, very easy bandit trick for Neophyte.
Easy, and there's no nades from outside to try and counter it. No one waiting for anyone to peek out of the windows to counter that. It's like Control are very one-dimensional right now.
I definitely agree. They use a Thatcher to get rid of the static batteries, but now that that's not worked, they decide to completely get on out of there. They lost an entire thermite charge, and there's no Hibana, so that's a limited hard breach available to them. They decided to completely rotate off. A real missed opportunity. There are so many different ways to deal with that bandit trick, and they didn't even utilize one of them. Yeah,
just a lack of team coordination. As Rizraz, he wants to get aggressive after he's seen some information on his Valkyrie camera. No one is by the white van, however. He's going to give it another sauce, and that's a lot of info gathered. Here he goes. No. He's going to jump on out, but no, they've moved just in time for him. Excellent luck there by Control, you should say. For Ryan, they were probably dead.
Control are actually really reminding me of the Supremacy lineup. The French team now, I believe they're known as Vitality now. Team Vitality they were signed to. And they're a team that have always been mentioned in the Pro League for having a very unique way of playing where they play very passive, very slowly for the entire round, and then do these last-minute 15-second executes. And just this passive early rounds and mid-round style of play that we're seeing from Control really reminds me of that.
Oh, there we go. Lusty's going to gather some information and peek on out as his Ella charge goes off. That's Porridge down. Looks like Rock's going to be the next one to push on up on that Ash. Scalakin will find aces as Neophyte is going to trade back on the Scalakin. Whether Rock's sitting on top of these stairs might not be expected here. As he is going to see the head of Magna. Easy kill. Easy. Another one. No, he's whiffed his shots.
Unfortunate for him, that leaves 2 of the players for Control outside big window. And, I was going to say Rock at the top of white stairs, but no longer good night, good sir. Neophyte takes off his head. And what is that peek from Rizraz? Why is he peeking that? That's an incredible confidence in his shots. And Lusty finds the last one onto Raven. That's going to be the end of the half, taken with FNATIC getting a minor lead.
Yeah, 3-2. It's a casual win if you think of it like that.
A casual win, 3-2. Been playing too much casual, have you, Monkey?
I don't play casual anymore.
You know who does play casual? FNATIC.
Who does?
If you ever play casual, you got to be prepared to coming up against a 5-stack of FNATIC. And
is that why I never see them in game? I just thought I wasn't high enough ranked.
Oh no. I mean, that could be it too. I think. Like, oh, Cynics is bringing out the Capcan. This has got to be a 6th pick. I mean, it's entirely possible it'd be useful, but I mean...
Capcan feels like one of those operators you should 6th pick into, you know what I mean? So they're not expecting it and they go and explode themselves, but...
I mean,
there we go.
We had, I believe it was it Noble from the North America 6th pick a Tachanka. So they had Tachanka and their 6th pick out of it. It was just, you know, a little nod to the audience. And I mean, this Capcan pick could very much be the same.
Yeah,
but Blitz being brought out by Neo.
Yes, changed from the Lion to the Blitz.
That's terrifying. That's all I can say.
I remember we were watching this FNATIC squad and they were really trying to make the Blitz work, but it wasn't happening. So let's hope they've managed to iron out some of the wrinkles there, for their sake at least.
Look, I've seen Magnet play the Blitz against, quite a long time ago, at the start of last season, or even for the ANZ Cup, and Magnet on Blitz really wasn't working for me. But look, Neo on the Blitz, he might have more luck. We've seen more APAC teams start utilizing that Blitz. Zero Gaming had a fantastic Blitz player in DOS last season. He did a lot of work, but he was mostly going for the kind of solo plays, whereas in contrast, what I've seen from Todd on Atletico, who played last night, and Luna Metal from Team Envy from Southeast Asia, who also played last night, they play a much more team-oriented Blitz, where they use the Blitz in order to force these roamers out of positions and into the players on their team holding angles. And it's something that could very much work. If you need just a brute force to take the brunt of the fight, then, well, Blitz is your man.
Well, they're nice and aggressive here. FNATIC, they're in very quickly. Neofighter on the Blitz and Rizraz on the Ash.
Oh, no.
Dual angles. We're going to see Porridge capitalize.
No.
Or not. No, Riz is going to pick up the double instead, but the shotgun's there to down him as Raven's going to finish him off at range from the stairs. But, oh my gosh, I thought Rizraz was dead for rights.
Oh no, that's all I have to say. Poor Porridge. At first I thought Rizraz should have checked that angle. Didn't, and then he somehow still got the kill. Nonetheless, Skeleton, now Jaeger's 416 is actually a very good weapon against the Blitz because it does a lot of damage. So if you can manage to hit him in the arm or the leg once or twice, that's a significant amount of HP off the board. But as yet, the Neofighter still has full HP, so he's been managing to dodge all of those bullets. And now, well, Skeleton is very much aware of that, and Neofighter taking advantage of his HP and of the fact that, well, he's been so successful and intimidating Skeleton all the way back to side.
That was a great roam clear there from FNATIC. Well, not roam clear, just the clear of the whole map. It was a hard hold, and they've completely pushed them back. They've got 2 frags for the good and a bit of HP done from everyone, and only at the expense of Rizraz.
Yeah, and I mean, it's an Ashe. I mean, what utility are you really losing there? Not a great lot, and you've got the Zephyr to have essentially everything that Ashe had anyway. But nonetheless, that mute jammer is going to be denying a little bit of intel onto the site. We did see that there were 2 control players playing very aggressively at the bottom of the main stairs before the hatch was blown. Very smart placement. You can get a really strong advantageous position there by playing up those stairs, especially with a shotgun, but wisely defaulting off of that once the hatch has been popped.
What's also good to note down on the bomb site is that Control have reinforced the side you wouldn't really expect in the little closet. It's on the opposite side to where the mirror would go. So
it's on the east side, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. Nonetheless, these fire arrows are going to prevent any kind of push, and they're going to go right into the closet to prevent anyone using that angle. Raven now on only a sliver of HP. He so much as breathes 1 millisecond of that asphyxiating bolt, and he's going to be in trouble. But Neofighter, the train is coming. He's coming. There's 2 of them right there. He's going to get 2 hit kills, 1 a headshot, and 1 to the body, leaving it all up to Rock with only a sliver of HP. Neofighter picks up the 3rd hipfire kill. What is happening?
Insane. That was a beautiful strat there from FNATIC. They're executing, and then you got a Blitz to worry about from your behind. That's just terrifying.
So, you know how I mentioned earlier how the Ying ban was a fantastic counter ban by Control to prevent Mindfreak from doing their meeting hall hatch strategy that they usually do with Ying? Well, guess what? They did the exact same thing, but this time it's with a Blitz, and it works just as good.
Well, we are going to see them take their 4th point, FNATIC, and it looks like Control are going to go for the exact same bomb site. Are we going to see Neofighter change over to the Blitz last second once again?
I think it's probably likely. I mean, it works so effectively that it's not kind of like something that you have to just do as a surprise. It's something that works reliably nonetheless. And there you go. We're also getting Scala can go on to the Vigil. Now, what do you think about that?
Well, it's definitely one of those operators you said that can have high impact when they're being sixth picked. Come out as a surprise. They're not really expecting it as they just saw the lineup. But that being said, Vigil is surely going to announce his presence when he chucks on his cloaking device.
Oh, especially if he uses it during the prep phase, which would be very unwise because you're transmitting to everyone on the map that they do have a Vigil. So hopefully he won't be using the ERC7 during the prep phase, but we'll see how it pans out. I think this Vigil could be very useful for going for late flanks that would usually be held by drones, and also for just delaying a lot of time on the roam. But the thing is, FNATIC have been face-checking hard with both the Blitz and the Ash. So, I mean, Vigil doesn't count as face-checking, it counts as droning. So I don't think it's going to be that effective against the FNATIC roster.
Right, then into the action phase we go. Very similar setup here from Control. Are they going to be ready for this fast, aggressive push? Looks like FNATIC might actually be utilizing a different strategy.
Yeah, but Rock has seen that that drone went past, so he may be calling to his team that there's a possibility for a rear side push. Very aggressive position for a smoke to play in, however. Rizraz and Neophyter once again. Oh, wow. No, is that Porridge in the exact same position he was earlier? Now, hopefully that he's going to get droned out, but Rizraz playing in the garage is also going to punish him if he peeks too aggressively. There are 3 players playing near bathroom and the surrounding area, and Neophyte is about to find Porridge.
Yeah, there's a C4 that's going to come on out, but it's near him, but not setting it off, just keeping that fear as we're going to see Raven find Rizraz. Rizraz dying first, once again.
A very ill-advised peek down the main stairs from Rizraz. Oh, it was noted. Actually, I think we had Raven push all the way up. Or maybe it was a spray through the wall, who knows. Nonetheless, that's one player down very early for FNATIC.
FNATIC look a bit lost right now. They don't know exactly what they want to do they?
Oh, well, Neophyter knows he doesn't want to jump in here because he's going to walk into a crossfire, but the main face checker other than the Blitz, that's Rizraz, has been taken off the board because he was nowhere near Neophyter, so Magnet's going to be in. Neophyter finds one, he manages to get the second! What?
He is
Magnet
insane.
cleans up the third one meanwhile as well, and Aces finds Raven, who was getting aggressive on the stairs. And just like that, in the space of 15 seconds or so, Rock is the last one left.
That's a bit of a throw, to be honest. It was, well, I don't know. How do you counter a Neophyter like that? Rock's going to have to get aggressive up these stairs. He's going to find one. He's only got 6 bullets left, and Neophyter's running right at him. He's flashed. He's not dead just yet.
He's pretty darn close.
But, yeah, I was about to say he's dead, but no, he's not. He managed to survive.
He's got 55... There's 55 seconds for the attackers to do whatever on earth they want, and there are 3 of them to make it happen. Sorry, yeah, 3 of them. Only 3 of them. I didn't notice that Magnet died.
Magnet got killed by Rock when he pushed up the stairs, but the plant's going to start going down. Neophyter's just going to aggressively push on into the site, so now Rock's completely locked out.
Ooh, and yeah, I mean, having the Blitz pushing up as well, that's Neophyter going crazy on this Blitz. Is that a 3K once again? That was a 3K. Twice in a row.
He almost got the one onto the last one in the bathroom, but Magnet stole it from him as well. So he's absolutely going ham on this Blitz. That was insane.
I don't know what to say at the moment. He turned around so fast. I thought there was no more teeth to the push from FNATIC when they lost Rizraz on main entry frag. I actually thought it seemed really strange. Rizraz wasn't just holding an angle passively, and he wasn't entering because you can't enter from garage like that because there are too many angles to check. He was doing neither. He wasn't playing so passive as to just be holding the angle. He wasn't playing aggressive enough to actually have an impact on the entry frags. But when the time came for Magnet to step up and go for that entry alongside of Neo, he gave Neo just enough support to distract the defenders and allow Neo to deal as much damage as he did. Or we're having a 6 pick on Defrost.
Oh, I like that.
I'm so excited for this. Now, this was done by Rogue in the Rogue versus SK game on Order in the North American Pro League on Playday 1, and it worked really well. I'm really keen to see how it's going to work here on Oregon.
Well, if the attackers drone it remains to be seen. But one thing we haven't mentioned, FNATIC put themselves on match point, and ever since they went 2-2, they've made it look fairly easy.
Yeah, that's a good point. Well, you know how I mentioned earlier that it's entirely possible with this set of bans, it's an attacker-sided map, with no mirror? And so it being so even in the first half was just the fact that Control had an advantage of being on defense. I mean, it seems that the results are proving me right, at least partially so far, since that both of the attacks that have been played by FNATIC have been won. So, we still got... This is match point. I mean, it feels like match point has come really, really fast. And that's because FNATIC have won, what, 4 straight rounds? Three straight rounds?
They've also won rounds really fast. Like, they haven't been bleeding it down to the wire like Control were. On their attack, they've just been smashing them out super fast. There's we're into this one, and look, they're just scurrying away very fast here, FNATIC.
Well, it helps when you have a rhinoceros named Neophyte on your team.
Oh, that's a bit mean to Neo, but you know.
Hey, no, rhinoceros is a compliment. It's a compliment.
It is very apt. There's Lusty. I'm guessing he fell off somewhere.
Poor Lusty.
Or he was shot and downed and he jumped off to be safe.
Attackers recovered the bomb diffuser.
It is very apt, though, to call him a rhinoceros, because it's really what it feels like. He's an unstoppable force.
Oh, yeah. Now, we've got a couple of the Control players still, once again, this is exactly what they did on the defense of the basement, but this time they're doing it for upstairs. They're having a presence inside a kitchen and the surrounding way. It's something we've seen by quite a lot of teams, and usually works really well from what I've seen, but mixed results so far for Control, especially now that Rizraz has taken out Scalacan the Jaeger.
Yeah, very quick there. I'm not sure if I like this downstairs presence. Like, obviously, it's to counter them shooting through the floor and such. Ooh, mate, wait a minute, Porridge. Oh, that Claymore. That Claymore. Perfectly placed.
Yeah, and Rizraz pushing up white stairs is going to find one more. The plant's going down. What? What? Rock?
What?
Underneath big window. How did he get there? Why did they not know he was there? And then Porridge finds one more. And then the Blitz gets taken down by Rock with the shotgun and the smoke in conjunction, leaving it all up to Lusty. Lusty, the clutch master. He has a whole minute to make this happen. He can take it slow. He can take it fast. He has 50 HP and just over 50 seconds. What's he going to do in this scenario?
Well, he's just holding the angle for now, but it looks like Control, true to their name, aren't maintaining control and staying passive.
Not going to work when Raven is directly next to that window. Lusty just jumps straight on in, and, well, that's preventing us from going to a clean sweep. Now, something we didn't mention is, yes, we're on match point. It's, 3-5 now in favor of FNATIC, but at the moment, it's impossible for us to have a Control win because FNATIC have 5 points, which means that even if Control push it up to 5 points, there will be no overtime and it will be a draw. So that's the best that Control could hope for at the moment. But that said, I mean, a draw for a Control against FNATIC would be an absolute success.
Yeah, it's definitely something I would not expect coming into this one. But, you know, we're still 2 rounds away from that one, Dev. Like, let's not get ahead of ourselves. We are going to see Neophyter pick the Blitz and reveal it to him. Now, he's like, you know, enough of trying to hide it. Unless now he's going to 6th pick into that line, which is what he was originally picking.
No, it's Riz who's going to use the 6th pick. And he was already on Thatcher, wasn't he?
He was on Thatcher last round. He was Ash, and he's changed over to the Thatcher.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I guess interesting. I mean, look at all the utility on the defenders that can be taken down by that Thatcher. Perhaps it was him. Oh, he wants the Ash. He wants that R4C. He wants that 3 speed. He wants that 0 hitbox. I don't blame him.
Well, now that we're going to see Control go back downstairs, which is, you know, they haven't won it yet, but they have won the top floor. What can they do to change to win this round?
For Control or for FNATIC?
Control. What do they need to do to win this round? Because they've lost this defense bomb site twice.
Yeah, and it's primarily because their roam has been unsuccessful. Really unsuccessful, and then their site they don't have any effective way of dealing with this blitz. I would really be forcing out both the Elic charges and the Legion charges to counter that blitz. And one of the immediate problems that happens if you try and do that is the fact that, well, the Thatcher is just going to clear out any statically placed utility. Even this ADS, for example, I mean, there's not only the Thatcher, but also Magnet's Lifeline, which can chew through those ADSs very, very fast. Control are doing the exact same thing. And, well, actually, they're stacking 1 extra player. If FNATIC read this, drone out site and realize there's only 1 person on site. Oh, no, never mind. Second person comes back site.
Yeah.
He was just doing setup, nonetheless.
Well, Neophyte is just going to sit outside this door. It looks like it is going to be a back push, though, as we've got 3 members of FNATIC grouping up there. Magnet's going to chuck down a Claymore.
Ooh, Aces has been taken very low.
Ooh. Is that shots through the wall? I think it might have been.
I have no clue when that happened or how that happened, but nonetheless, Magnet's going to be... I'm not quite sure if he's intending to make a rotate hole there. I think he just wants his... Yeah, nice little touch. But nonetheless, I believe it's only 1 player again on site. I'm not quite sure whether that's because Skeleton got very... No, okay, Raven's aggressive at the stairs. Rock's deep inside. Skeleton in the meeting room entrance. And then we still have Cynics and Porridge on the roam.
Well, Rizraz from above is trying to counter this roam in the meeting hall. Looking for any of the players, as we're going to see Lusty open up the hatch all the way from in the attic. That's a nice touch.
Yep, nice little angle, nice and safe, and see, Neophyte didn't really have to enter the meeting hall because he was worried about a retake from the lobby side and from Pantry where Stenix is playing. Now, if FNATIC are holding their flanks as well as Control have been holding their flanks, then this shouldn't be too much trouble for them because we've got Porridge and Stenix off-site, as well as Skeleton, who was off-site. Not sure whether he's decided to make a rotate yet. But nonetheless, I think that there's a lot of promise here for FNATIC. It's going to really come down to how does this execute happen? Can they flush out these anchors, especially Rock with the smoke?
He's going to send out his first Toxic Babe, but it's not very effective. In fact, Neophyte is going to start taking some damage and then get thrown another one. He doesn't want to hold that, though, or breathe that in, so he's going to run on out of there. And Raven, using the shield the opposite way, just trying to find the shots, as he is going to get hit by the stun. He's going to see Magnet send in some more towards some other players. He is Neophyte into the bomb site. He stepped in a Legion one, but he's pushing up nice and fast, but Porridge is there for the shot. We're going to see Porridge fall back in the closet as Ace is going to cook a nade and toss it on over. What's going to happen here is Raven's found another one, and Raven with a third.
Lusty trying to push in, and he just wants to secure at least 1 kill at a time. He does. He gets the first one. He can't get the second one. It's out of bullets. Magnet's found one, but Porridge cleans it up. A 2k for Porridge, a 3k for Raven. Fantastic stuff. Bringing Control back into the game.
Wow. We're 1 away from a draw now.
Can I point out that FNATIC didn't hold the rotates from the roamers at all. And it meant that at the end, it was a complete 5 versus 5 on site, which is not what you want to do. That's not how FNATIC intended to play it. They saw that there were only 2 players on site and they went for it, but they didn't have anyone playing on the lobby side. They didn't have anyone in a position to try and prevent the rotates. They didn't have anyone coming from the opposite side. I mean, it would have been very easy for Lusty to just place one Hibana charge on the lobby hatch in order to open it up, except for the fact that it was probably muted, in which case they should have just get Rizraz to play the Thatcher. They don't need that Ashe. Seriously, that Ashe isn't bringing them anything that Thatcher couldn't have done, really.
What's interesting in this round, though, looking forward, we're seeing a rear stage watchtower because we're going to see Control locked out of both their other picks.
Yeah, that's no.
Yes, they are.
Yes. Sorry, my bad. Yeah, that's true because FNATIC took it to 2-5 and then Controller brought 2 back. So yeah, and we mentioned this before. As a tertiary site, most teams would take Kitchen, but Control demonstrating that they like to be a little bit special.
Well, it's definitely a viable bomb site. It is a bit harder to fill, but I feel like the best way to play this bomb site is very aggressive.
Yes.
I think they probably would have done well with a Valkyrie.
Yeah, I was going to say that. A Valkyrie would have helped a lot. You've got Maestro, which gives a little bit of intel, but other than that, there's not a ton. No Valkyrie, no Echo even. You can use Echo a lot like a Valkyrie, you just can't place the cameras outside. I know we've got an ACOG as well. Raven's just preventing the rush from blue. Not sure if anyone's in a position to go for that. No, but we do have a heavy construction spawn, mostly because obviously that's where the watchtower site is. Raven does take down Rizraz.
Yeah, smart play.
What are you doing, Rizraz? I feel like FNATIC are just... They're not taking this seriously is the only explanation I have. Now, I don't intend to, hurt their feelings if I'm wrong, but... We've seen FNATIC play so much better than this, and it's almost like they're saying, hey, this is the lowest seeded team in the Pro League. We've beaten Team Liquid at the 6th Invitational we don't need to drone that. We can just run it. And it's going to punish them.
Well, it looks like they may be getting ready to just jump on into the tower. Hope they can get the frags. We're going to see Cynics drop down and lose half his HP for that. Top floor control is where FNATIC are heading.
Oh no, Scalican gets 2 on the run out from the garage. That's such a predictable run out. Once again, FNATIC looking like chumps here with control, punishing them. Magnet wasn't here to refrag, so now he's holding this angle, hoping that they're going to run out, but it's not likely that Scalican's going to try that again. He's already done all the damage he needs to. It's now a 2 versus 5, and FNATIC are 100%. They're completely fighting right now just to get a win instead of a draw.
Yeah, this is not what we expected. This is very shocking indeed. And all the props to control here.
Oh yeah,
it's not over yet, but yeah, definitely not the scoreline I was expecting.
It feels pretty over at the moment. I mean, I'd love to have control in FNATIC, but right now, all they're doing is sitting and holding angles because they knew that if they were on the defense, what they would be doing right now is running out and getting greedy. But if there's anything Control have demonstrated, it's an incredible control of their playstyle. It's an incredible patience, and it's been rewarding them completely. It's been a hard counter to FNATIC's very aggressive playstyle. And, well, even when Magnet does jump in and get 1 kill into Cynic's, Porridge immediately refrags it, and a C4 onto Rock takes out Neophyter, cleaning it up. GG.
Wow, I was not really expecting that at all.
I feel like FNATIC have so many regrets right now because can I point out that this is the difference in the score? Well, okay, let's have a look at the scoreboard. Raven top fragging. Now, I don't want to sound like a meanie poo, but that doesn't happen every day. Props to Raven. I believe he was the IGL, and typically, in my experiences, he doesn't see the top of the scoreboard. So a great job from him in order to put himself into that position. Good stuff. But nonetheless, I mean, the significance of that is that it's 3 points for a win in this format. This league round robin format, you get 3 points for a win. You get 1 point for a draw. Just let that soak in. FNATIC have just missed out on 2 points that go towards getting them to LAN against the lowest seed team in the Pro League.
Yes, that is a bit of a shock. But the thing is, this is a very long season. And we've seen FNATIC do this kind of thing before, where they won't play as well against a lower seeded team at all. And
why do you think that is?
I don't know. People always say, jet lag.
They were jet lagged. They were hiding strats.
Yes, hiding strats. I don't know. I think it might be just they like to, play just try and match the team they're going up against and go head for head like that, rather than, just try and outperform them every single time. Do you know what I
mean? Not really, to be honest.
It's the old story of when you play ranked and you just lose to like quick peekers and peek and everything. Like, you lose to like what you're not expecting because you know what I mean. Like,
Control weren't taking any gunfights. They were playing passive. They were punishing FNATIC every time they went for a flank. And on top of that, they were going for runouts because FNATIC, I'm so sorry if there are FNATIC fans out there that feel like I'm being way too harsh, but you got to understand, these guys are making really simple mistakes. And this is meant to be the best team in APAC.
Yeah, it feels like, they're playing against Control, how Control would like are playing. You know what I mean? Like, they're going down.
They sink down.
Control. Yeah.
They change how they play down to the level of who they're playing against. So like we see them play one of the best teams in the world and they'll give them a good fight. But here they're kind of just chilled out a bit more. And I mean, like, I can appreciate that it's not the right way to go because that's a lot of points that they've just missed out on by taking that to a draw.
Well, on the on the good side here for FNATIC, it is a long season, but we're going to just head to a quick break. There's only 4 minutes left on the timer for that one. And so yeah, we'll be right back, guys, in 4 minutes. Don't go anywhere.
Hey guys, and welcome back to the stream on Rainbow Six ANZ for the Australia and New Zealand region of the Rainbow Six Pro League. We're back here. We've just had one map of FNATIC versus Control, and we're lining up for the second one. I'm Dev Marta, and joining me once again, Monkey Fist.
Hello. Here again.
And yeah, we just had a very surprising result there.
Yes.
Going right into it, you you were saying that you really thought Control were going to be tailing behind. And as a result, I mean, in the first half, you were surprised that Control even managed to get 2 out of the 5 rounds. And then moving on into the end of it, FNATIC mounted a strong comeback, got themselves a 5-2 lead, but then Control pushed them to a draw.
Yeah, you know, I remember FNATIC's, or at that time, Mindfreak's first game of Pro League last season, right? 5-0, 5-0. That was against a team I'd probably rate much better than Control as well. So a bit surprising. They are, you know, that is a bit of a slow start to go to draw 5-5 with Control. But now we're on to Border. Now, did you want to have a quick chat about those ban phases?
Yeah, well, so FNATIC were the ones who started off the ban phase with Coastline, and then it moved on. Villa was banned by, you know what? I'm going to talk about the default bans first. So Oregon, since that was the map that was played first in the previous match, that was a default ban. They didn't get to choose that. The second default ban was Bank. And then FNATIC banned out Coastline and Consulate, 2 Cs. And actually, there's another C, so my bad. Gonna ignore that one. Control banned out Villa and Clubhouse, leaving us with Border.
What was very interesting for me is that Control banned Border first in the last ban phase, and now they've let this one come on through.
That's interesting. I feel like maybe they didn't really want it then, because it was their first ban in the previous... yeah, that's a good point. It was straight up last for the last map, the last veto, Control banned Border straight up. What is it that... Do they not want to play it? Do they obviously feel comfortable playing it because I don't know. What's your theory there, Monkey?
I think it's just maybe they forgot to ban it. No, maybe. No, I'm kidding.
So one thing I will note is for the previous match, the 2 default bans were Villa and Clubhouse, and they were both of Control's bans this time. So I think that maybe Control don't want to play Clubhouse. They don't want to play Villa. They also don't want to play Border, but they want to play Border more than they want to play Villa and Clubhouse. They're going to ban those 2. That tells me that FNATIC definitely are in the advantage on this map.
Well, we're heading on into this one. We're going to see the ban phase to start things off with. While that's happening, though, do you want to predict a scoreline?
I think this is going to be much more heavy towards FNATIC. I think this is probably going to be a 5-2.
5-2?
5-2, something like... Sorry, 6-2. I'm all old format, Monkey. Thank you for pulling me up on that, though. I think this is more likely to be something like 6-2. I mean, it also will come down to the operator bans. So Ying going out of the picture early by Control. They clearly don't like playing Ying, and they obviously don't like dealing with it. Lion being banned by FNATIC. Now, Control played a lot of Lion in the last game, so no surprises that'll help out FNATIC a little bit. It's really going to come down to the defense bans. In my eyes, we had no hard breaches banned, which means that attack aren't at a serious disadvantage. And the question
Sorry to interrupt you, but surely Control ban Blitz in this next ban. Surely.
Yeah, well, I guess we'll have to see. I was going to say that now that Mirror's been banned, this is going to be They
went right to it, I swear. Right to it.
No, well, I mean, Blitz is an attacker. We've already had the attackers.
No. I didn't realize it was the defenders.
Yeah, no, it's all right. It's all right. I forgive you, Monkey. But so, I mean, as I was saying, no Blitz. They seem to just... Ying is their default ban off the cuff. They're not making any adaptive bans, whereas FNATIC did make an adaptive ban, and that was Lion. Whereas FNATIC were the ones who got rid of Mirror, so they have attack first. Now, a philosophy that we've seen from a lot of teams is that if you start on the attack, you ban one of the integral defense ops, namely Mirror. If you start on defense, you ban one of the crucial attacking operators, namely Thermite or Hibana. But no Thermite or Hibana has been banned, and as such, they're going to see both of them brought out by FNATIC. But right off the cuff, we're having Customs Inspection and Supply Room being brought by Control.
All right, interesting. Not the bomb site we normally see. Of course, you know, with the bomb site rotation, we are going to see more off-meta bomb sites, of course. But to start off there is very interesting.
Yeah, and well, another thing that I'd like to note is the fact that there's no Mirror in order to defend this site, and Mirror was really the operator that made this site viable. It was originally, I think, pioneered by teams such as Penta. This upstairs hold to defend the customs inspection. You hold CCTV, and from there you create hold, and you open up the hatches, and the intention is that you can deny a plant or any entry into the customs inspection bomb site but from above. But that east-facing mirror from inside of CCTV just isn't possible because mirror's been banned. And I think this is going to make it quite difficult. Now, I would say one other way to go around it, play a Valkyrie with lots of cams outside and do lots of runouts, but that's not a very controlled thing to do. They've been playing quite passive, and, well, the Valkyrie cameras are mostly going inside. So, I don't know. I feel like FNATIC do have the advantage here.
Yeah, well, we are into the round, and where are FNATIC going to head to start off with? Surely they're going to take the top floor. They're not going to do something off the cuff like just rush onto the bomb site.
Yeah, taking top floor downwards is one of the... It's the staple for most downstairs bomb sites, and especially this bomb site, because like I said, the top floor is so powerful. Now, I don't understand. Control are completely defaulting out of CCTV. They're reinforcing the hatches, but there's been no hard breach bans, meaning that it's very, very easy for FNATIC to open up these hatches and still have hard breach available to open up the east and west sides of the site. Neofighter as well is going to be shooting through... Yeah, he's taking out the mute jammer. So that means that can be thermited as well. Like, this is really being picked apart fast by FNATIC.
Yeah, surely they've got some kind of retake strat going here, Control, because this is, I'm very worried from what we've seen so far.
I think that Control are probably going to be fairly safe. They're not going to give any kills to FNATIC by peeking into angles, which means that FNATIC can't rely on getting these kills to the floor. They're going to have to rely on their execute. And without a blitz, they don't have any of that brute forcing power that they might be used to. And I should hope that they decide to open up detention wall, which is the wall just to the west of Raven here. They have to deny that mute jammer from above and then rotate their thermite over there.
They are really getting forced out of positions, Control. They are not feeling comfortable at all. He's going to see the sledge going to work. I haven't seen any, reply. C4 is going to see Neofighter miss a few shots, and Rizraz is going to find Rock as he was forced out there.
Magnet also going to take down Scalakin. That's a good numbers advantage now for FNC, and two of the Control players have decided to get out of the site, Porridge being the last remaining one inside of the bomb site. Now, if FNATIC just push on in with two players apiece going together to refrag, they're likely to take the win straight from here. Magnet's still holding out this rotation from open area, however.
Well, just the three remaining members for Control. Lusty is not going to thermite this open, as Neofighter's going to find another one under Porridge. Looks like the bomb site is pretty much clear. Rizraz has found Cynics. This has been a monster performance in this round by FNATIC.
Oh, and they threw the wall, which had been open. I'm not quite sure who that was opened by, but nonetheless, yeah, Aces saw an opportunity to turn this into a flawless round, and he took it. That's one round up for FNATIC. A very, very convincing attack.
Well, they're just gonna go back to the standard bomb site here, Control. That did not work out for them, so they don't really want to try it again. And I don't really blame them. But yeah. I really feel like they shouldn't have gone to their third pick bomb site until they had no choice here, Control.
I think it was
FNATIC. You don't know how many chances or how many times you're gonna have to anyway.
Yeah, that's a very good point. I think it was kind of like let's throw them off. They won't be prepared for it. But really strangely, Control didn't actually have a very strong setup upstairs. In fact, they had no setup upstairs, and I don't think they had a really great setup on site either. It was easy to be picked apart, and FNATIC managed to do it flawlessly, even without using any thermite charges. Just think about that for a second. They didn't thermite open detention, they didn't thermite open passport, and yet they still managed to gain entrance to the site from above, kill everyone, force everyone to rotate off to site, then take the site, and kill everyone as they tried to rotate back.
Yeah, we saw Aces. He picked the fuse, but he six picked into the Dokkaebi. It's going to add so many mind games, this six pick, isn't it?
Yes, and I don't know how much... I've seen a lot of teams just don't use it. In the Pro League, in NA, for example, I just mention NA a lot because it's one of the only play days that we've actually seen so far. We've seen one play day of ANZ, SEA, two of LATAM, one of NA, and none of EU. And I mean, it's something, the sixth pick being not utilized, something I've noticed occur a couple of times, and it seems surprising to me. If you have the ability to try and pull one over your opponents, why not use it?
Yeah, and especially if you have a strat, I don't know. That being said, it's so easy to counter one way or the other, right? Like, let's say you want to thermite into a garage and you see they don't have a bandit. You're like, yeah, no need to Thatcher, right? Just a basic example. But they changed one of theirs over to a bandit. So, it's do they fall for the bait or not? But it's like, a one-for-one bait, if you know what I mean.
I feel like do something like just, trade out the Valkyrie for an Echo and then switch onto a Valk last second so that they think there's an Echo. They're going to be looking for the drone and they're not going to be looking for Valk Cam. Something as simple as that.
Yeah, well, Magnet, he's going to put down the Claymore, and Rock looks like he wants to aggress on that. But Magnet's safely made his way off the air conditioning balcony. FNATIC very slow here so far, aren't they?
It seems really strange to me. They're not choosing one method of push and then going for it. Now, Raven having this rotate into CCTV with an extra reinforced way means that he has a little bit of cover from the bookcase if he decides to try and enter as a late flank, which is a great opportunity for him to have.
Here we go.
And Lusty misses the drone, but doesn't matter because Rizraz managed to get the successful face check, taking down Raven. It wasn't too early, but it was a pick 1 for nothing.
Well, we're going to see the shots from the lifeline go in as Cynics. He sends a bit of pre-fire in direction of security. Narrowly missing ahead. It was very close.
Cynic's not really able to do this bandit trick anymore, despite there being no pressure from below. He's mostly worried about the pressure from that lifeline of magnets, and also some angles being held from inside of CCTV. The ADSs are, however, going to save him. Interesting. Was that a defender impact grenade being used to counter that claim?
I think he tossed a frag grenade in and it didn't go in far enough. I thought that was right. So
nonetheless, Thermite is going to open the wall. That's an opening for FNATIC, and I mean that literally.
Bomb located by attackers.
Well, there's only 50 seconds now for FNATIC. They're going to have to be quick, and Neophyte is going to rappel all the way up to Sandwich, and he's also going slow, so they're not quite aware of it. But Rock is going to jump on out from the air conditioning bus window and find him.
There was a claim around on that window earlier.
Yeah, it was. Rizraz is going to rush right in, finds 2! They're both dead as Lusty's going to start the plant.
Rizraz now being the primary player to hold this push, and Scalakin and Rock being the 2 that have to retake now with plant down. They just have to move together, these last 2 controlled players, try and refrag, try and manage to, well, retake this armory site. It's such a difficult thing to do. They don't have ACOGs, the attackers do. The attackers are numerous. There are 4 of them splayed all around, and Scalakin's about to walk right into Zafia, that is Magnet playing inside of CCTV. The 2 control players are pushing solo. Rock trying to push up. There's 1 at half wall, and Rock doesn't even know about it. He's going to get shot from behind. Magnet finds 1, and pushing in for the second one. Magnet cleans up Scalakin as well.
Yeah, that was a great round there by FNATIC. Looked a bit dicey for a bit. But, it doesn't matter in the end as they were able to get the shots, get the entrance thanks to Rizraz, and get the plant down.
Yes, it was, it's been just attacker wins so far. I don't know how much you say that can be accredited to the mirror being banned, or whether that's just the fact that FNATIC are just doing so much better on this site, on this map so far. I do feel like this is going to be a very heavily favored FNATIC map. Just the analysis of the ban phase really tells me that Control are not comfortable on border. They want to ban it, but they also want to ban Villa and Clubhouse. So being taken to border is not comfortable territory for them.
Yeah, that's a great point. Control, when they didn't have the option, like they obviously had some great stuff there on Oregon. But they've got border, but it's not one of their favourite maps to play. But we know traditionally FNATIC have been smashing the border.
Oh, yeah. I rember them 5-0ing Atletico in order to earn the spot at the Invitational Qualifier LAN. And that was the final map that really got them to Sydney for that event.
Attackers need to locate and defuse as many bombs as
Well, nevertheless, we're going to see Control try and defend the Armory Lockers Archives once again. Very similar operator lineup. We did see an LS pick, but it looks like they changed back. I didn't quite see where that one was from.
Yeah, deciding not to switch on to vents. Just trying to nail out Armory. Not going downstairs. They unsuccessfully went custom. What the thought process was behind that. But nonetheless, it seems like they do believe Armory is the most effective site. And they're trying to nail it out. Just want to be able to win that one.
They've only got 1 kill, Control, and that's Rock. That was his run out onto Neophyte repelling.
Yeah, I do recall that. They're really going to have to do more than, get 1 kill every 2 rounds in order to make this work. Wow, I like that. So let's have a look at that placement just there. This Lesion Mine, it prevents what people commonly refer to as the Pengu jump, where you can gain access to the that balcony, that north side balcony without actually climbing up the bus ladder, and it ends up taking a few HP. But if you hit that Lesion Mine, it typically makes you actually fall off completely and usually get injured.
Yeah, nice sneaky way to take a large percentage of health off for very little utility, isn't it?
Indeed. I don't know whether we'll see FNATIC 4 reinforcers which have been used in this L hallway. Scalican playing inside of CCTV. He's no doubt going to get isolated very, very shortly, as we're likely going to have concussions come out from Magnet as well as Lusty on a long angle pelling.
Rizraz's just going to do what he did last time as well. Just walks in, steps in the Lesion Mine, but it doesn't matter as Neophyter's also going to find Raven. Putting this into a 5-on-3 with just a minute down.
It was an attempted refrag from Raven, something that was a nice gesture, but in that case, FNATIC had so many players stacked up and all of the angles covered. Raven had no chance.
Yeah, he would have had to get 3 or 4 sprayed down if he wanted to get out of there alive, but that was not the case. But Rock, he's going to send a few little bullets towards Neophyter and take his head clean off. Pulling one back. That's the second frag for Control. Also in Rock's hands. Yeah,
still Rock being the only one to actually manage to pull one of those out. Now, no nades now for the attackers, and also that sledgehammer off the board, but it doesn't really matter. They have plenty of destruction potential from Magnet here, who no doubt has full lifeline charges he could use. And he's probably going to be using those to deny this bandit trick and the bandit batteries that have been statically placed on the armory wall.
Complete slowdown here by FNATIC, though. They've taken control of the armory, the security room, but they've completely stopped. Now the batteries are destroyed, they're going to open this one up, but 50 seconds on the clock, it's starting to feel a little dicey.
Where's the drone from FNATIC to check half? Now, if there's a mute jammer here, they have playing here. Magnet still had 4 of the concussion proximity mines left. He could easily shoot one over to Cynics and confirm that there is a player playing there. And, well, if they don't deal with Cynics, then this is going to be very difficult for them.
30 seconds to go as Rizraz is going to get flashed up a little bit, but the C4 is not perfectly timed. He's going to walk right on in. He's found one. He's found the second. Once again, Rizraz just walks into the site and makes it his own. It's off to Porridge on the very long flank.
1 versus 4, and Rizraz, he wants that kill. And is that a 4K for Rizraz? He got the initial entry onto CCTV. He pushed him to side and got 2 others and then cleaning up the last one. What was that shot? How do you make those?
Absolutely insane from Rizraz.
One of the probably best aimers in ANZ, in my opinion.
Oh yeah, and that's a 3-0 lead here for FNATIC. They are definitely looking like Border is their map for sure.
I think that they lost. They didn't lose. They went 5-5 on Oregon, and they said, all right, guys, we're not fluffing about anymore. Let's get this done. Let's get our 3 points on the board, and let's not give Control any back.
Well, we're going to head into the 6th pick phase. Anyone going to be changing on out?
Wouldn't mind to see the Vigil get changed out. I don't think that's going to work. I mean, Control, it's not your roaming that's been working. It's not your CCTV holds that have been working. It's your cheeky runouts. The only time that you could have killed is a cheeky runout, and the other one was Rock playing in sight. I still only 2 kills on the board for Control.
And that's 3 rounds to FNATIC.
Yeah.
Apologies.
What do Control do now? I mean, they've gone downstairs, finally hit vent. They started in customs inspection. They lost there. They lost 2 defenses in the top floor of Armory, and now they're going to vents. Reinforcing this CCTV hatch is going to allow them to play a lot more aggressively inside of customs without worrying about that rotation being cut off from above. What do you do now if you're Control, if you're struggling to even find a kill or 2 in these rounds?
Run out.
Run out?
Go for the Valley spawn peak. That's what I'd do.
I feel like that's what old Corvidae would have done.
Yeah.
I feel like if the people who I've seen do that the most would have been team now known as Sonic Darksided, but not many players in the roster that used to be on that original Corvidae roster. But yep, no detention Valley spawn peak, unfortunately. Scalacon's going to be playing inside of CCTV, and Lusty's droned him out. And I don't think that this kind of play is going to work. They're going to see that his visual scanner is very prominent in this area. They're going to know he's somewhere in CCTV, and he's playing in the most predictable spot in all of CCTV at the bookshelf. And Rizraz has demonstrated he is very comfortable at entering. Magnet, if he can't find Vigil on his drone, he'll no doubt be using proximity mines.
Well, there we go. Magnet's going to find the first one, but Porridge here is going to get the trade on back, but Rizraz straight on the Scalacon. It's man advantage staying in the hands of FNATIC.
So much for runouts, hey, Monkey Fist?
Yeah, well,
Rock got
you need to
punished
do it
there.
before they put the Claymore down. Trust me.
Go for the spawn peak runouts.
You
Nonetheless-
got to find the right timing. Like, it's
Yes. Well, I mean, I was impressed that Rock managed to get a run out in the first round. When we saw the Claymore get put down, he managed to counter the Claymore that time. This time, no such luck. Cynics and Raven have defaulted downstairs. Porridge playing now inside of offices. I don't think he was droned out there, but it's potential. I believe I saw another drone earlier inside of the office itself. They may have seen him. But Rizraz and the rest of FNATIC are just starting to push through CCTV. Interesting that they really valued that CCTV hatch, so much so that even though that Control reinforced it, you know, they used Hibana charges to open it up. And that's not the site right there. It cites detention.
very interesting, as we are going to see the phone calls coming on out. Looks like they're going to just push straight for the side after taking most of the top. As Neophyte is going to find Cynics, but Porridge is there for the trade back. That means it's only Raven on site, and Raven is going to find Rizraz for free as he was focusing on Porridge. Ace is looking for the trade, but it's not available. He's going to make another phone call. They're going to surely start heading towards the site, but have they dropped the diffuser?
I'm not quite sure who had the
they
diffuser.
might have.
I think diffuser's in the main hallway. Magnet's going to try clear out A before he looks for the diffuser. Porridge is likely aware of where the diffuser has been placed. That call from Aces is going to give Magnet and Aces an audio cue. They're no doubt going to know where Raven is. Raven gets taken down. Porridge with 1 HP in a 1 versus 2 clutch. He can't even find the first one. Magnet takes him down 4 straight rounds.
Yeah, it looked like Neophyter had the diffuser and he left it all the way over where he died, unfortunately. But we do see the FNATIC members manage to pull that round back into their favour as we are into the last round of the half, and it has been all FNATIC since the start of this map.
Yeah, well, I mean, it doesn't matter who has the diffuser if you just kill everyone.
That is a good point. You can win by TDM as well.
Yes, well, nonetheless, pick phase, seeing pretty much everything like we've seen before. Once again, Scalacan trying the Vigil. Didn't work at all last time. Armory Lockers being taken again for Control. This is the last round of the half, so it's the last time Control are going to have to defend. And, well, if they lose this one, they're going to be staring down match point while trying to attack. And, I mean, trying to play 5 rounds and not lose a single attack, it's going to be very troublesome for them. Now, Scalacan is 6th pick onto the Echo. A very wise choice in my eyes.
Yeah, I definitely agree with what you're saying. The logic is definitely sound. The Vigil not doing so much. Look at the kills on Rizraz. 10 Frosty on a donut.
Well, you know why Lusty's on a donut? Because he's only seen one player the entire game, and he died that one time. And he's just been droning and putting thermite charges down. But Rizraz has been an incredibly vicious entry fragger. Now, Control managed to get 5 kills between them. Doing a little bit more. I mean, that most recent defense round that they lost was the closest they managed to get, turning into a 2v2, but still not too close.
Well, you know, I don't know. Control, I think this round, this map is not going in their favour. I don't think this round is going in their favour. I'll be surprised if it is.
They've lost this Armory defense twice, and they've finally done something different. They brought an Echo, but even with no mirror, I think they're just not comfortable without a mirror on this site. Now, it was FNATIC who banned. Sorry, no, it was Control banned that mirror. FNATIc banned Pulse.
No, other way around.
Other way around. Okay, yeah, there you go.
That's here we go. Rock. Oh, but Rizraz! He's still ready for the peak.
Rizraz is on fire. You know how you have those days where you find every headshot, get every one of your peaks absolutely perfect? Well, it's one of those days for Rizraz tonight.
He's just mad after drawing that first map. He's back with a vengeance as he's reached number 11 for his total kill count. and he's looking for more.
4 players on the defense. Interesting rotate holes being played out by Control once again. I like it, but it's not working so far, and I don't think it's going to start working now. The push every single time from FNATIC has come from customs, CCTV, sorry, I mean, and I don't expect that to change anytime soon. They tried having a kind of half hold inside customs and inside of CCTV, and it didn't really work, and now they're just defaulting off it completely. Hopefully this Echo drone from Scala can help to deny that plant.
Well, there's a minute and a half on the clock now, and FNATIC have definitely done this a lot faster since last time, haven't they?
Yeah, I mean, they're feeling very confident at this stage now. Magnet droning this out is going to give a lot of intel, and doubt be the one doing the entry once again. Porridge being very aware of this North Locker's repel and the spot where Neophyter has decided to make himself. Rizraz just opening up some angles where he can get nice and aggressive through down the angle towards Beepers, and looks like perhaps Magnet is going to be the one to entry.
Well, yeah, once again, FNATIC have slowed it down, hoping for a pick, as we're going to see Neophyter with the pre-fire down and finish off Raven, put this into a 5-on-3. Rizraz just going to jump right onto the bomb size. Neophyter's going to be finished off by 6.
Oh no!
But Rizraz is going to fluff his lines and miss his shot, but Lust is there to pick up the quick double. It's all up to Scalacan, and Aces with the DMR will finish him off. That's a 5-0 lead here for FNATIC.
Yeah, and you said, well, an ace for Lusty, and Lusty said, all right, if Rizraz is going to go there, and so I'm going to jump in there and start doing some damage. And he did. 2 kills with the 5.56 on the Thermite. Exactly what FNATIC needs to, well, put themselves onto match point. Controller staring down a barrel at this stage. Not really sure what they can do to push forward and push through this.
Yeah, definitely great stuff by FNATIC on Border there. Oregon, not as traditionally as strong as... Well, it's traditionally been strong, but not as strong as what it has been traditionally. That Border still looking like, you know, they are the kings of ANZ right now.
I think it's also... I would say it's more so than it is about the map. I think it's just the fact that FNATIC have realized that they actually want to win and they don't just want to chill out and end up drawing and losing points, because what the repercussions of that is that if FNATIC end up, because they have drawn now against Control, if they end up losing their land spot to a team such as Visonic Darksided, such as Atletico, Taboo, I mean, a lot of teams in the Pro League are showing themselves to be very promising, and if those teams beat Control, then they've essentially one-upped FNATIC. And unless the FNATIC pretty much doesn't drop a single map in the rest of the Pro League, they're going to be pretty worried going into the final point calculations, because, I mean, that draw is going to hurt them a lot.
See, I don't really think so, because if you think about it, if they know that they can beat all the other teams, the teams that might be ahead of them at the end, they're probably going to lose to FNATIC. Do you see what I mean? Like,
yeah, but I mean, do you really think
that being said, relying on that kind of thing is not?
Yeah, it's not. No, I mean, it's entirely possible that, I don't know, you want to get really complex. You want to say that FNATIC are, you know, giving some points to Control to make it so that Control are, you know, higher, and I don't know, that if FNATIC are losing to Control but they don't lose to teams like VSDS, then I don't know, like, it doesn't seem logical to me. Like, if you try to create some kind of conspiracy theory, I don't really see it bearing much weight. I just think that FNATIC made a mistake and they need to wake up and not do it again.
The thing is, drawing one map does not ruin your whole season.
It doesn't ruin it, but it can have an impact. If just say, you know, let's be theoretical here, not hypothetical here. If Control are, and I'm not saying they are, but if they are the lowest team in the Pro League and they lose to all of FNATIC's direct competitors, that means that FNATIC are already a disadvantage in terms of the points.
Well, I don't know. It just, you know, the reason why people like this, you know, format is the fact that, you know, it is longer. You can't say we lost because of one loss. It's going to have to be a combination of all the losses or the draws. So one is no biggie here for FNATIC. I'm not too worried, to be honest. But, you know, enough of that. We're into the action. Rizraz
we can talk about it. We can talk about that till the cows come home. Yeah, Rizraz still on fire, playing the Vigil. He's a player who I can justify picking Vigil as we have had no Glaz ban, Rock has brought out the Glaz. Usually it's Raven I see playing on the Glaz, but no, he's on Thatcher and he's also off the board. Rock seems to have been the player so far for Control who's been able to do the most fragging damage, and well, if he can land the shots with Glaz, then that'll be helpful to his team. Porridge trying to use the vertical play from inside vents, clearing out half wall, but he still hasn't cleared out directly hugging up against the armory wall itself.
Well, Magnet has lost half his HP thanks to the breach charge from below. Oh, we're going to see Rizraz down below. Find Porridge completely caught off guard. As we are going to see the thermite charge go off, and Cynics is ready for Rizraz run out. That was his 13th kill, I believe, or his 12th.
And he gets punished. I mean, another death on the board. But look at that. Lusty, his teammate on that peek it. That's just the mind games there. I mean, I love it. And now it's 2 versus 4.
Exact same spot.
Match point here. Rock peeking into the sights. I don't know. What can Control do?
I think this might be a GG unless Scalacan and Rock can do something amazing. They are going to see the Echo Drone, but it's going to drop just in time. Scalacan's missed it. 40 seconds on the clock and still 4 members of... Make that 3 members of FNATIC to contend with. Rock's going to find Magnet on the flank. Looks like they're both going to rotate, but with 30 seconds, this is looking very dire.
And Rock still having a lot of trouble with only a few points of HP to his name, and there's 20 seconds as Scalacan and Rock try and push through all this barbed wire.
Yeah, this is over. Lusty's just going to line him up. In fact, Neo's going to find the first one. And it looks like Scalacan's just going to slow peek at Neofighter with another. That is a swift 6-0 here.
Yeah, and there was only one defense round that actually got played for FNATIC, and I mean, it was an easy one for them, really. I think that they only lost one player in it. Flawless 6-0. GG, well played. FNATIC really showing themselves up.
Yeah, not much we can really say. Like it feels like it's just one of those games where they just get destroyed, isn't it? Look, there we go, 13 kills for Rizraz.
Scalacan didn't even manage to find 1, and no one from Control managed to find 3. 13 kills is insane in only 6 rounds. That's more than 2 kills per round.
Yeah, absolutely insane. So I believe we're going to be throwing to a 10-minute break as we get ready for the next matchup. That will be Taboo and Dead Set. Coming not too soon, but just give us a quick preview on that one, Dev. What are you expecting?
Well, I mean, both of these teams have had very drastic roster changes between the seasons. Taboo having gained 2 of the players from the previous Outlaws roster in Striking and Rippy by also losing Joey and Norfix. And, well, Dead Set, I'm actually not entirely sure what their deal is at the moment. They went through a lot of roster changes. I mean, finally settled with, very recently with a lineup that I believe they're happy with. But I guess we'll have to see when they get into the lobby how much that team chemistry has built up over such a short period of time.
Yeah, for sure. Predictions, though, just quickly before we head into it?
I think Taboo have this one in the bag.
Do you think Taboo have it?
I think so. I think that Dead Set's roster changes of late will probably damage their team chemistry.
Right. Well, I don't think we're just quite ready to head to a break just yet, so tell me a joke.
What's 9 plus 10?
19.
19? All right, well, I don't know. There was no punchline there. I'm sure some people will get the ref.
It's a joke, isn't it? It's meant to be like 21 or something. Is that
yeah. No, it's yeah. Nonetheless, what do you call a FNATIC? Oh, I don't know. I'm trying to make a bad pun. What do you call FNATIC's Playday 1 first match against the lowest seed